most often mistake people make when they're creating their online course is that the moment they have an idea about a topic that they want to teach, they get busy creating it without spending any time whatsoever figuring out if it's something that people actually want. Before you spend months of your precious time and energy, you should do some research to make sure that there's a need for your course. What that means is you should get clear on what specific problem your audience is trying to solve when it comes to your topic or your niche, or what specific outcome they're trying to achieve. What solutions are they looking for as it relates to your topic? So instead of guessing what your audience wants, you need data and proof that your course idea is a good idea and it's a profitable one. When you get this clear about your audience, not only you create a good course, but also you'll know how to speak to them on your sales pages and on all your marketing efforts so they resonate with you and with your course. So how do you do this research? This topic, the research, the proofing and validating your course idea, on its own is a very deep and wide topic because depending on who your target market and audience is, the tools and methods that you use to uncover this information is going to be different for everybody. But having said that, let me show you on high level 5 different ways to research and validate your course topic idea. All right, as we step through each of these 5 methods, I want you to keep in mind that each of these steps build on top of the other one. So you're starting out broad, and as we go through each step, you're validating and proofing your concept more and more. And by the time you get to the last step, you should feel really confident that you've picked the right course topic. First step is keyword research. Are people actually searching for this specific topic that you want to create your course on? And also, what other closely related topics are they searching for? Now, one of the main places people often go to when they're looking for answers to their problems or to their questions is Google. So if we can figure out what they're searching for as it relates to your topic, that will give you a lot of insight. Let me stop right here. I want to play a snippet from my Build a 6-Figure Business Selling Online Courses course where I actually do a behind the scene on this research. So let's go there together and then we'll come back and talk about the other 4 ways to validate your course topic idea. Now, there are many tools that can help you get this information when it comes to figuring out what your audience is searching for. Some of the ones that I would recommend are KW Finder, SEMrush, SpyFu, Google Analytics. These are just to name a few. And for most part, they all offer the same functionalities and same features, and they're really, really good choices. The one that we're going to use inside this course is called Sam's Coop. So if you go to samscoop.com, you can gain access to this particular tool. Now, obviously, the first thing that you want to do is create an account for yourself. And then when you log in, you are directed into this dashboard that you see right here. Let me go ahead and scroll down a little bit so we can see what's happening here. Now, this is the keyword tool. And again, all these different various tools that I just named above, or the ones that you might even search and find on your own, what we're after is actually this keyword tool. That's what we're looking for. So here we're going to put our course topic idea inside this input form field, right? Now, for some of you, the course topic idea that you have in your mind might be very, very broad, but for some of you might be very specific. Regardless of whether it's broad or specific, you can just go ahead and put that over here. So let's say that you are a yoga instructor and you know that you want to create a yoga training, but you don't know exactly what topic inside yoga training, what type of training you want to do. So here, what we can do is just put yoga, and then if you look here, you can, if you click on this drop down, either you can just pick a very specific location. Let's say the training that you want to do is for a certain country, for a certain region. You can drill down here to actually gain access to that specific audience for that specific region. Or you can just leave it as all location. I usually leave it all location because obviously it's an online course and I want to have access to as many people as possible. Same goes for languages. You could either pick all languages, or if it's like for a specific area, specific language, again, you can just click this drop down and pick your language. And then when you're ready, just go ahead and click on this search icon. We're gonna let SamScoop do its thing. And then once everything's rendered, we are redirected to this dashboard over here. Now, the first thing that I want to point out here is here we put yoga as our course topic idea. So one of the things that you want to do, if you look on this left sidebar here, SamScoop is giving us all these various topic ideas. And this is actually gold mine. That's what you're looking for in the first place. You want to look to see what other topic ideas there are out there. Now, some of that might be things that you've already thought about, but a lot of times what you find is there are actually topic ideas here that people are searching for that maybe you hadn't even thought about it. Now, when we're looking at these topic ideas, what you're specifically looking at, let's say, just yoga in general, you're looking for search volume, right? So the higher the search volume, the better. I personally would say that look for topic ideas that have at least 10,000 and more searches. But then, depending on how specific your topic idea is and whether or not, like where the pool of audience is, if it's like for a specific region, obviously, then you're not going to get as much search volume. So I'd say definitely don't go below 1,000 searches. But again, the higher, the better. And personally, above 10,000 should be your goal. Next thing that you want to look at is this keyword difficulty. Now, each of these tools have their own basically numbering system. But here, if we hover over the number, SamScoop is telling us, for example, 30 to 40 is moderate competition. Once we get into the 50s, it's like very high competition, and then once we get into 60s, it says don't even think about it. So I personally would say that pick a topic that's between 40 to 60. That's a decent number when it comes to keyword difficulty. So actually, what that means is the more difficult a keyword is, that means that there are a lot of other people that have topics, right, for that particular keyword, key phrase. And so it's going to make it harder for you to get noticed. Now, obviously, this tool, like these tools are used for Google search, and the main use of these tools is when people want to create, let's say, blog articles, and they want to rank within Google. That's what they use this tool for. Because of that, this keyword difficulty is not too concerning because you're going to find different ways. You're not just using Google to get noticed, to get your course ranked, right? You're going to use different marketing methods, as we'll discuss in this course later on, to get noticed by your audience. But again, while you're doing this, if you can find a good combination of a really healthy search volume and a decent keyword difficulty, why not, go after those keywords, right? So again, what we're doing here is looking for topic ideas as well. So for example, you might be looking at, Kundalini yoga was something that you never had thought about. And then what you do is you look at the search volume, you're going to look at the keyword difficulty. Obviously, it takes time for SamScoop to render the data to show us the difficulty. And here it is, 32. So as you can see, this is actually a really, really good topic, right? A good search volume, really decent keyword difficulty. And so the idea here is for you to spend hours, if not days, doing this research. Like the longer, the better, right? And you want to drill down, right? Once you find a good topic idea, you want to actually drill down within that topic idea and see what other options are out there, right? For example, let's say you saw power yoga and you're like, you know what, this is something that I had never even thought about. So then you're looking at the search volume, that's decent. You look at the keyword difficulty, that's decent. So what the next thing that you want to do, you want to see, you want to drill down into that particular topic idea. So now instead of yoga, we put power yoga. And then again, we run that through SamScoop to see what other related topic ideas come up that's related to that power yoga. And then, drill down more and keep on drilling down. Now, one thing to point out here, because I'm advising you guys to do hours, if not days of research here, because you definitely want to take your time. And I'll talk to you more once we get past this. I'll talk to you more about the benefits and the power of doing this research. And you'll see that's why I'm hammering this idea of you definitely want to take your time to do this research. One thing to do is, as you're doing your research, let's say, you've spent a couple of hours, when you see topics that have, the right search volume and the right keyword difficulty, there's this checkbox right here. So if we click here, this little button, now as you can see, we get checkboxes next to these. So if you do come across topic ideas that you like, what you can do is just click a checkbox right next to that. And then when you're done for that day, what you'll do is if you click this arrow, now you can export this data. You can export it into a CSV file or a clipboard if you don't have CSV. And this is actually really good. That way you can save it. Let me open it up so I can show you what that looks like. Obviously, the main benefit is now, you can come back to this the next day and the next day and continue your research. So not only this is going to be amazing for your, coming up with your course topic idea, it's going to be so valuable later on when you want to do your content marketing, social media marketing, email marketing. You're not just writing content, creating content in dark, rather you're creating the type of content that your audience is looking for, searching for. All right, so that's the first part of this research. Again, I'm asking you to spend hours and days doing this research. And then let's say that, after you're done with all this research, you've, come up with, 20 topic ideas, and then you've looked at all of them, and now you've come up with maybe 3 or 4 different ideas. And you want to know, and they're all good, good search volume, good, competition, keyword difficulty. So what you want to do after that is to head on to another tool called Google Trends. So if you do trends.google.com, you're going to gain access to that other tool. And basically, we're going to use this tool to see what the trend is, right? It's not just enough for you to know where, what are people searching for right now, currently, or in the last month. It's really good to get an idea of where the trend is going for that particular topic idea, right? So let's say, this was, you thought that power yoga is a good option for you. So we can put that in here in the search field here in Google Trends. And as you can see, we're getting this graph of what the trend looks like. Do you see this? The trend is somewhat going down, right? Now, just like the Google search, you have the option of drilling down based on a specific location, or if you clicked on this arrow, you can actually pick different countries, or you could do worldwide just to see where the trend is going everywhere. Same goes for the timeline. You can just click this arrow right here and pick a timeline, let's say past 30 days or past 90 days. I personally like to see where the trend is going for the past year. That's going to be a good amount of data to take a look at. And then same goes for your categories. If you want to just narrow it down, let's say to beauty and fitness, or to, entertainment or art, or what have your business, you could do that as well. So you get a more narrowed down view of where the trend is going. So obviously now we're looking at where the power yoga trend is going, and you can compare that to another trend. So let's say we wanted to see what yoga for kids, where the trend is going for that. Maybe that was another thing that you saw that you thought maybe that's a good option. And as you can see here, the trend actually went up in March area. That makes total sense because as a recording, which we're in August right now that I'm recording this course, March of this year is when COVID happened, and so people are home with their kids. Obviously there is going to be a spike, but then the trend somewhat, if we compare it to where it was prior to all of that, it seems pretty steady, if not a little bit higher. So but overall the power yoga has a higher trend. So let's say that Kundalini yoga was another option that you were looking at, right? So you can compare that to the other two. And here we go. This is Kundalini yoga. It seems like pretty much steady, but again, power yoga here is the winner. And you can just keep on adding. Let's say even if you had 10 different topic ideas that you were looking for, you can just keep on adding that and looking at everything side by side to see where the trend is going for that particular keyword idea, topic idea, or topic ideas. Now, after going through keyword research, you should have a good idea around what topic you want to go after. So now comes the next step, social listening. Are there conversations around this specific topic on social media, or questions being asked in post comments, inside social groups and communities? This is a great method to gain a lot of valuable insight about what your audience is looking for. Now, a lot of people go here first when they want to find out if their course topic is a good idea. And I know that there are some gurus who tell you to start here, but you should never do that as your starting point. You're only going to use this method to validate your findings from the previous research. Otherwise, you'll get misleading information. Trust me on this. There are a ton of case studies on this, big companies making the same mistake and losing money. And I've done several videos explaining this as well. But bottom line, using social media as a validation tool is the right way to go about it, not as your first go-to tool to do your research. Now, what you want to do is figure out where your audience goes to congregate on social media. Are they on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter? Like, where do they go to congregate? What you want to do is show up where they're congregating. And again, first you want to listen and observe, and then you want to ask questions. So if you go back and use our yoga example, let's say that you've decided to go with power yoga. So you could do research for groups around power yoga. You could go to Facebook and look for groups that have been formed around that topic. And once you're inside these groups, I want you to pay attention to the conversations that's happening. What specific things your audience is asking questions about? Are they looking for specifically a certain thing? What outcome they're trying to achieve that they believe power yoga will help them get there? Your goal is to learn as much as you can about your audience's desired outcome and their struggles. Not only to validate that there's a need for this topic, but also to gain insights into specifics of it. If you want to cover the right content inside your course, then you need to be very clear on where your audience is currently at and where they want to be. What's their end goal, desired outcome? And then you want to create a path for them so you can take them from their stuck current situation to their desired ultimate destination or desired outcome. And this is one of the best ways to gain that clarity. All right, so at this point, you've done some research to come up with a good possible course topic idea. Then you've validated that by social listening. Now you can get even more specific by speaking directly to your potential audience. So step 3 is direct conversation with your audience. If you do have an audience that you could interview, that would be awesome. Now, if you don't have an audience, you could tap into your newfound audience inside the groups or communities that you joined previously in step 2. And the idea here is to directly speak to them, pick their brains, so you can gain deeper understanding and deeper clarity. But you have to be very careful with this method so you don't end up with misleading information. The important part about asking for feedback from your audience is to ask the right questions. One way to do that is to ask open-ended questions. Not only they're perfect conversation starters, but they also allow for more open and mutually beneficial discussions. Let me show you what I mean by that. Take a look at the difference in these two examples. What do you hate about limiting calories to lose weight? That's a leading question. Another question is, what's your thoughts on healthy ways to lose weight? That's an open-ended question. The first question not only limits the conversation to limiting calories, but also it exposes how you feel about it, how you expect them to respond. But the second question shows no bias from you whatsoever. It allows them to comment on losing weight as a whole, and you'll get more insight as well into what's worked for them, what's not worked, what challenges he or she is facing, their fears, their dreams, all those things. So by leaving the question open-ended, you create an opportunity for learning. And the people that you're interviewing are also able to think and converse more freely. And often they also learn as much from the discussions as you do. They end up identifying pain points that they didn't even realize existed. But let's say that you really want to focus the discussion on dieting as a means to lose weight. So what you can do is try a more neutral question like, how do you feel about using diet as a vehicle to losing weight? One effective way to get to the core of what's going on and try to get the right answer is by drilling down on a specific question 5 times. And here's how you want to do that. Once you ask an open-ended question, what you want to do is listen for the answer. And no matter what their answer is, what you want to do is ask these 2 questions. What makes you say that? And then you follow up with saying, tell me more. And when they respond to those 2 questions, then what you want to do is ask the same 2 questions. What makes you say that? Tell me more. You can do this 5 times to keep on drilling and going down, getting them to go deeper and deeper until you get to the core of the issue. All right, so by now, you should feel really great about the path that you're taking. Let's make it even better by making sure not only you're covering the right topic inside your course, but also you're filling a gap inside your niche that's not being met by anybody else in your industry. That's how you can take your course one step further and above the rest of the courses in your niche, right? That's how you can make your course stand out from everyone else's. And the way we're going to do that is look into your competitors' offers. So that's our step 4. Specifically, what you want to do is look at the reviews your potential audience, their buyers, have left them. What are they complaining about? What are the gaps and holes in their programs? This will give you a lot of insight as far as what your audience is looking for and are not able to find with other courses. That's the competitive edge that you're looking for. All right, so now we're at the last step, which is pre-selling your course as a live workshop. So this one is huge and has become my main go-to method for myself and my clients. Look, despite all the time that you spend at the beginning researching and validating your course topic idea, you still won't know if you're solving the right problem for your audience. That only happens after hundreds of enrollments and real-life feedback and testimonials. As you know, course creation is extremely time-consuming, even for veteran course creators such as myself, who's gone through the process so many times and has streamlined every part of it. Obviously, it's going to be much longer for someone who's doing it for the very first time. So, before you spend countless hours pouring your heart and soul into something that has no proof that is going to actually produce your profit, you should consider pre-selling it as a high-level group coaching program. Pre-selling your coaching offer saves you time, energy, and money. And you'll be able to very quickly validate your idea is a good idea and that people will pay for it to help them solve their problem. It's also a lot easier to get enrollments into your pilot program since your clients know that they're going to get better results because they have direct access to you, helping them get to their desired outcome faster. Now you have a community who's invested into the program as much as you are and want to see it through. In a way, they're helping you co-create your program with you to make it into a more well-rounded and transformational course. So I'll be doing a free training on this entire process next week. If you're interested in learning how to pre-sell your course as a pilot program, let me know in the comments below and I'll make sure to invite you to that free training. As always, my goal is your success.